Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. 3:30 a.m. You know when it's this early, I'm ready and rearing to go for something I need to talk about. Okay, you know this. You know the saying, the term, the talk around the water cooler. Monday morning, the talk around the water cooler. If people still, I don't know if people still even gather, if people even still go into work and talk around a water cooler anymore, but that used to be a saying. Anyway, this is going to be the story. All right, it's about Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars. If you fell asleep, if you went to sleep early like I did, I just found out about this story about 2 a.m. East Coast time, just a couple hours ago. And when I saw this video, I was like, holy, bang, that word. Wow. Okay, you guys know too. I don't like just coming on here and pretending like I'm a news, talking about a story like, when you could see professional newscasters tell a story. I like to give it my own spin, and I definitely have a few thoughts about what happened. All right, let me get into it and tell you. Well, Daryl, what happened? All right, Oscars last night. Will Smith, he was up for an award, his first Oscar for King James, a story about Serena and Venus Williams' father. I've seen this video out. I have not watched it yet, but I've seen it at the library where I usually get my videos. And so he was up for an Oscar. Chris Rock was on stage, and he was there to present the award for documentary. And he was joking around like comedians do. Now, Will Smith was in the audience sitting next to his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, I did not know this. Just a couple of weeks ago, Jada Pinkett Smith was on Instagram talking about how she suffers from alopecia. Alopecia is a sickness, a disease where the hair fights its own follicles. I'm not a doctor, and the hair dies before it even comes out of the root. It's a hair loss, a lot of hair loss. So Jada Pinkett Smith was on Instagram about a couple weeks ago. I'll try to have the link for that one down below. And she talked about this. She said how she was going to shave her hair. She said Mama's going to shave her head. She didn't want anybody to think that she had cancer. And she says me and alopecia we're going to become friends. So she's suffering from alopecia. I've had girlfriends now. Women's hair, man, I'm sure you all know this. Every girlfriend I've had took hours, literally hours every morning to work on their hair. I've had one or two girlfriends. I've had family members that were worried about hair loss, women that had suffered from some kind of hair loss, and it's a big freaking deal. All right, so last night, Oscars, Chris Rock's up on stage, and he's joking around. And he goes to Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, her head is shaved. She's got a beautiful green dress on, I believe. I'm not a fashion designer, so that's going to end right there. And he makes a joke about G.I. Jane. He says something along the lines of, I hear you're starring in the next G.I. Jane 2. Now, if you remember, Demi Moore had a shaved head in G.I. Jane, the movie. So it was a joke, and this is what they do. It's what do you call it? A roast style. This is how the awards usually go. Okay, so Jada Pinkett Smith. I'll have all the clips. Now this went out live in Australia and Japan, I believe. They saw this live and uncut. So both Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith kind of laughed. Jada Pinkett Smith showed some an eye roll and some anger. Then Will Smith didn't click right off the bat. He kind of laughed, and then his jaw tightened. Next thing you know, Will Smith is striding up towards Chris Rock on stage. Chris Rock goes, oh. Will Smith goes right up to Chris Rock and bitch slaps him. That's what I call it. I hope none of you take offense. I'm going to explain that more in a minute. All right. Bam, man. Turns around, walks away. Honestly, I freaking love this. I've talked about this before. I've been in a lot of altercations, and I learned, a lot of guys a lot of men who get in fights or pretend to get in fights. You know, they talk smack and push each other. You got a problem? Or you got a problem? And I hate that. I have respect for a man that just goes right to work. That's what it's about. So, and he was sticking up for his woman. Bam, right? Turns around, goes right back off stage and sits down. Wait, it gets better. So Chris Rock goes, Will Smith just slapped that S out of me. And then Will Smith yells out, and this is where I realized this was no joke. He yells out, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth." And Chris Rock says, it was just a joke. And this is all happening live in Australia and Japan. Now, Will Smith is sitting back in the audience after slapping Chris Rock. And Chris Rock tries to explain, "Dude, this was a joke about G.I. Jane." And again, Will Smith, and you see his face, man. This is no joke. This is no Oscar performance. This is the real deal. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Wow. So Chris Rock eventually recovers and goes on. All right. Chris Rock refused to press charges. That's the latest thing latest news I have. P. Diddy came up on stage, or Diddy, or Daddy, or what. I sound like such an old dude when I say stuff like that. And he said something cool about, we're gonna handle this like family. We're gonna sit down and talk about this, but let's move on. Denzel Washington, great thing. Will Smith then won the Oscar after all this happened. He actually won his first Oscar. He got up on stage, tearful apology, wanted to apologize, and this is where you can. I understand the hurt. Now you got the regret, because this is supposed to be about Venus and Serena Williams' father, and the movie, and everybody that worked in it, and now it's all of a sudden become about him. And I could, I've had that feeling, man, that terrible feeling of regret. That's what I always used to get after physical altercations. I never felt good, no matter what. Even just like this, Will Smith apologized and was crying on stage. And he says Denzel Washington came up to him privately minutes later. And Denzel Washington says, "The devil always comes to you at your highest moment. Beware." He says, "Watch out, the devil always comes to you when you're at your highest." Wow, that's Denzel, man. I've never been a big fan of Denzel, really. I always looked at him more as a woman's, ladies' man. But that's some solid advice. All right, so let's get into it. I already talked about the initial slap. This is a couple things I want to talk about. When you slap somebody, I would rather be popped. You'll see that he's got an open hand. There's all the pictures this morning we're going across. You see he's open hand, bam. Couple things I've hit. This is why I'm so thankful. I have some more constraint than I used to have, and I'm out of this world where there drugs and alcohol and bars and everything, where there was so much aggression. This stuff happened on a nightly basis when I used to go out, and a lot of damage can happen when you do stuff like that. I remember somebody talking smack to me. He was up at a telephone and he was yelling it to me when I was on my bar stool, and I thought it was a good idea. I said, "I'm going to go teach him a lesson. I'm not going to hit him in the face. I'm going to hit him in the stomach." So I went up to him, bam, uppercutted him, and it broke off a bone in his rib cage, and it was bad. You never know what's going to happen. And when I saw Chris Rock, his head spinning like that, if Will Smith just hit him the wrong way, this is one of the things. Like I said, I'm so glad I'm out of this lifestyle now. You could pop the guy's eardrum. You'd be shocked at the things that happen when you smack somebody. Things break. It's not like the movies. That's what I've told you guys before. All right, now the slap. Like I said, I would rather be punched. When you get punched, like say Will Smith went up and punched Chris Rock, then you take it. With me, I've told you guys this before. I was almost prouder when I got my butt beat down, because then I could stand up and say, if you gave me your best shot and look, I would stand up and there would be literally teeth and blood dripping down. And I would just be smiling. And I used to, the look on people's faces, I remember two guys coming at me, and I did this, and just they're like, you know, what do you do then, you know? But when you slap somebody, there's no good way to come back from that. You know, it's like saying you're not even deserving of a regular manly fist fight. You know, it takes away your manhood. Being slapped like that, that's why I call it that. And, you know I shouldn't say that, but it's just, it sums up to me what that is. It's dishonorable. I'm not trying to talk badly about women, but it's a term I use that it takes away your honor. It does, and there's no good way to come back from being slapped. There's not. You can't stand there proud after you've been slapped. You just can't, you know? And it's like you're not even worthy of the punch. So I see I'm running long on time already. I could talk about this for a while. Those are my thoughts this morning. There'll be all the links down below. And you guys have a great Monday. I'll be back later with another video.